And so what I'm going to do,
So guys, the first thing we're going to do is find out who you are. So I'm going to put a poll question up on the screen, and we want to know who you are. Does everybody see that?
we've got a good turnout for the poll questions. 43 of 46 have already answered.
What's there?
Can you see it to share the poll, Reggie?
No, it just says
we can
just
see
says
it.
in poll.
Can y'all see it now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
Okay, so we had 3 who did not participate. It's okay. All righty. So, guys, today's presenter is Pam Brooks-Crump. She's an MBA. She's a certified peer specialist in mental health as well as addictive diseases, and she is a CARES 19 with 28 years of long-term recovery. She dedicated 7 years of her life to working for the Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network organization until February of this year. She has embarked on an entrepreneurial journey, offering training, speaking, and counseling on trauma recovery and resilience building amid mental health challenges and substance misuse for adults and children. Pam authored and illustrated a children's book on resiliency and peer support titled Mia Inspired, A Caterpillar at the Crossroads, and has embarked on her most cherished role yet, that of a grandmother to 18-month-old granddaughter Scarlett Jean. And with that, guys, I give you Pam Brooks-Crump.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am super excited to be here. This is my first training as an entrepreneur. So I'm just thrilled to see your beautiful faces. I know so many, and I just want to send everyone love as we start this whole thing, and just to set an intention to be present here with you, and you with me, and we'll get started. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Let's see. We want to. Y'all see the whole screen, or is it the?
It's the whole screen again, Pam.
Okay. Huh. All righty. Let's see here. All right.
Do you remember what you did to get it?
Yep. Here we go.
Okay.
Now?
Same thing.
And did you switch over to PowerPoint? Or are you back in the?
No, I didn't. I was with this. Okay, we practiced this, and now, okay, let's see. Let me do this again. We'll try that one again. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. All right, so first we're going to talk about our goals and objectives here. And with me, it's always about having fun. I mean, I did not get into long-term recovery not to have fun. I mean, it is about having fun, learning something new, having fun, learning something new, having fun. Then we're also going to be looking at building resiliency. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define secondary trauma. And then we're going to explain the community resiliency model, which is a means to build resiliency in the moment. And then we're going to experience some resiliency tools together. Okay, and this is an intro. I'll also be doing later on in the year a full on couple of 3 hours. So this will delve into more on that training, but this is to introduce it to you, and maybe some of you already know some of this, but we're going to look at the importance for frontline workers like CPSs, mental health, CPS cares, EMTs, clinicians, you know, anybody that has interaction with us, those of us that have had traumas, mental health challenges, and or substance misuse challenges. We want to look and be aware of secondary trauma, because if we are not, then our health is at risk, really. And we're going to burn out. And so, and the great news is that what we can do is use not only the self-care tools that we all know, but these in the moment tools can really make a difference. Okay, so, all right, trauma, secondary trauma defined, which also you might have heard it as vicarious trauma. And just simply, it is the psychological and emotional distress experienced by individuals who are indirectly exposed to the traumatic experiences of others. Does it sound familiar? If you are a CPS, if you are a CARES, if you are a clinician, or if you are an ally of someone in recovery, you will often be exposed to the traumatic experience of others. And just want you to know that this also is not the only activating experience as a CPS or a frontline worker. We do, during our normal days as a CPS and frontline workers, that you will be often hearing stories from people, and you might be experiencing behavior that is difficult. Because I know that when even still to this day, sometimes my behavior is not comfortable for other people, but especially in before recovery and in new recovery, we have behaviors that are difficult, because often we our traumas are reacting for us. And so as a worker, we're exposed to that. And so we're gonna take a look at some of those. Wait, now we're going to do a poll first before we go on. Poll question. Does your employer provide a space for debriefing of secondary trauma? In a trauma-informed system, all employers do this, but we're not all there. But look, that's really great. So we have 78% participated, 80. Let's see. We'll give it just a few more seconds here.
That's good participation.
That is good participation. Thank you so much, you all. So yes, and 60% of you answered yes, that employer provides a space for debriefing of secondary trauma. 20% no, and then 20% not sure. So when an employer provides some type of space for debriefing, this is emotional space, not, you know, necessarily physical space, emotional space. So what, all right, we can take this down. So you might have, it could be formal or it could be informal. You know, when at Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network, it was informal. So, for example, on occasion, I was asked to answer the warm line when they were in training or doing certain things, and I really got activated by a caller, and so there's not any possible way that I can, Reggie, can you take down the poll questions? Or do we have to do that ourselves? Let's see. Let me see. I think maybe, okay. So I was really activated. And so I could not just go right on to the next call because I could feel my body was activated. My stomach was tight. My throat was tight. And I even think I got a little bit shaky, you know. And the way that at Georgia Mental Health, the way that we did it was informal. There were people that you could call that worked there. And so I called one of these people, and you know, we had a 5-minute conversation where I was able to get back to myself, get back into the okay zone, which is what we're going to talk about. And then in some cases, they could have counselors, they could have peer support, they could have a meeting to debrief, you know, after every day or every few days. And so that, for the people that were unclear, did that clarify what it is? Is that maybe thumbs up if it did? And then also ask for it. Ask for it. I mean, as people in recovery, we're great about, you know, hopefully we are really good about calling our support network, going to a support meeting, a peer support meeting. But this is something that in a trauma-informed environment, if you treat your employees well, then they're going to and have a place to debrief and have a place for them to space to relax in some way, then you're going to keep people, and you can ask for it. Ask your supervisor, do we have, ask for what you need, and, you know, let them know that that this is a way to keep people engaged with the peers, and also to keep employees from leaving and being burnt out. So, all right, let's see here. All right, so have you ever been activated? And some of these may be, this is just some of them. And when we get activated, it can cause us to get, for our nervous system to deregulate. And when our nervous system deregulates, it sounds like a real, you know, a real heavy word, but it can happen very easily. Like when you're working with a peer who is sharing their trauma, and you like I did that time, and I know everybody on this call has felt this, that you get activated in some way by something someone is saying. It could just make, you know, your heart could start racing. You could feel like your skin, you couldn't sit in your skin. In some of the other ways, having to experience difficult behaviors of peers by a colleague or a supervisor who is activated and not centered themselves, because you are overworked at your job or jobs. because of lack of sleep, family issues, someone cuts you off in traffic. I mean, there are just so many ways that we might during the day become deregulated. And so what do these sound familiar to you? And what I would like you to do, and we're not going to emphasize this too much, but I'd like 3 people to share. I would like 3 people to share ways that they notice that they become activated during the day. And you can raise your hand. Raise your virtual hand is a great way. Reggie, can you call on them? Okay, I see Rashonda.
Yeah, and Chris raised his hand too.
Okay.
I noticed that I get activated when I feel overworked and overwhelmed, and I try to push through without taking the time for myself to just walk away and take a break. And I feel overwhelmed, and that's when the anxiety start happening.
Right. Right.
And
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. And we're gonna, don't take it personally if I cut you off, because we just want to be quickly, what are things that may activate you? Chris, I don't see Chris, but Chris who?
Charles
Charles.
Chuck had his
Okay.
hand up. Yes.
Okay.
And Susie White after that.
Okay, very good.
I'm talking long-term recovery. Yes, I many times, well, working in hospital work and all of that, I worked a lot of hours. I'll give you an example. There was one time in 2 weeks of work, I worked 168 hours.
Wow.
And
Oh,
then,
wow, Chuck. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. 160 hours. I mean, it's just that I just don't think that our bodies can handle that. But we're gonna learn ways that if you in the moment what you could do. Okay, Susie.
Yes, hi, I'm Susie. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I recently had a job with Advantage Behavioral Health Systems, and there were people that would come in and yell and scream, and that would get my heart racing, and it would be very difficult to deal with at first, and I'd have to push through at that moment, and then I would feel really tired afterwards and have to find ways to recuperate.
Right. I mean, those are the difficult behaviors of peers. I mean, yes. Okay, Brianna. Thank you, Susie.
Hi, everybody. So we're talking about like what we do, like if we get triggered.
Well, no, what we are looking at is what are some of the things that may be activating for you? Just
Well,
one thing.
I had an incident that happened a couple weeks ago. I actually fainted in CVS, and it made me realize the importance of self-care and taking care of my body. And I didn't realize there was secondary trauma there. And so the changes I made, I started taking high blood pressure medicine. I started drinking mineral water, exercising, and those things have become front and center aside with my recovery as well.
Thank
So
you.
the
Thank you for
importance of
sharing.
taking care of yourself, our
So-
body.
So important. So important. Okay, we'll take one more, Selena.
Hey, my name's Selena. I'm in long-term recovery. I just had an incident this week where I was actually in a trauma class with some other peers, and someone was sharing about something that had happened to them, and it triggered memories for me from my past.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys for sharing. And if you didn't get to share, you can share in the chat just to share with others. All right. Thank you guys. All Okay. What does it look, what does deregulation of your nervous system look like? So when we get activated, and these things that we have talked about here and countless others, countless other things, you know, children, pets, just you can think of the things that for you have been activating, and the nervous system. If I'm in the okay zone, like when I started in recovery, my okay zone was like this, and as I've been 27 years in recovery, it's grown. That the capacity that I have has grown, and so when something comes in and it activates me, then it's normal for me to react. We're not or in some way that my nervous system will deregulate a little bit. It is normal because we are not robots, and during the day you're going to have ups and downs. But if I have something that knocks me up way above, then that looks like anxiety, fear, anger. And if I stay up here in the anxiety, fear, anger, this is me in fight or flight. This is me in, you know, it may start just a little, and then I'm up here and the anxiety grows, the anger may grow, the fear may grow. And if I stay here too long, my body, in order to get back to balance, back to homeostasis, it's going to go down below the okay zone. And then I might feel numb, I might feel sad, I might feel depressed. And so the goal is to widen the capacity of our okay zone. And we do that by all of the things that y'all listed this morning as what do we do for self-care, the daily things that we do to take care of ourselves. And I always say 3 for maintenance every day, 3 for maintenance every day. And those should come to your head. 3 for maintenance every day. What do I do to take care of myself every day? And then what are some of the things that I can do when I have been bumped out of that okay zone? Because as much as I like baths with candles, with oils, and you know, and I do that almost every day, I can't do that in the middle of a work day when I am a peer is sitting across from me, or my supervisor is sitting across from me, and they're activated in some way, they're sharing trauma. What can I do in that moment? I also love to be outside. Sometimes I can't be outside. So what can I do? So we're going to look at that. So activated is being pushed out of the okay zone or the resiliency zone. We use both of those interchangeably. This zone that I put right here in front, it's my capacity to feel okay during the day, to feel good. And when your nervous system becomes deregulated, you may feel anxious and worried, right? And fearful, or a combination of all of these. And this picture that I took I hike a lot, and saw this was all the roots of a tree, and it just really reminded me of how sometimes how I feel when I'm deregulated. It feels like things are kind of twisted up. And as we talked about, if you stay here too long, you may begin to feel numb, sad, low energy as our bodies try to get back to balance. And our goal in the moment is to get back to the okay zone. You know, I was on that hike, I saw that tree, and I'm hiking, and then all of a sudden this appears. this peaceful, beautiful lake and the greenery. And so this is an image for me that helps me to just to think about getting back into that okay zone. And how do we do that? All right. So why is it important to you to bounce back, to be resilient? And we're going to talk about the why before we go into experiencing some of these in the moment resiliency tools, because I think the why is so important. And I'm going to just share with you my why, and then y'all going to go into a breakout room and share your why in a dyad. Okay, so these are some of my whys. All right. In the left corner, I'm doing my I do headstands as a part of my physical and it's really important for me for my health, as my body staying in my body, staying flexible, staying strong. Also, why do I want to bounce back? Because I want to be here for my relationships and my peers. I want to be emotionally intelligent. I want to be able to show up with kindness and consideration. And I want to truly want to engage with the person sitting with me. I want to truly engage. And if I don't do my self-care and the resiliency, then it's very hard for me to truly want to even if I want to engage with the heart, my body often does not allow me to do it in my body and my head if I have not done these resiliency. I want to be here for my community. I want to be able to show up in service to my community. I also want to show up in service to the earth. And my most favorite role so far, and why this is so important, is my granddaughter, Scarlett Jean, that you see here. I want her to know that the world is safe and that she can explore and she can grow and learn. And if the people around her are doing their work and are doing the resiliency, no matter what happens. I mean, she's a toddler now, and they have big feelings and they cannot regulate yet. I don't think until they're about 2.5 or 3 maybe. And I want to show her that she can explore, she can feel safe. She doesn't have to start building walls because of not feeling safe in the world. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break you out into dyads. And in a dyad, what you're going to do, you're going to have 2 minutes to talk about why is it important for you to learn how to build resiliency. Why is it important that you have grow the capacity of being able to, in the moment, come back into that okay zone? And in the dyad, you will, the person with the longest hair will go first. And in a dyad, it's not a conversation. It is one person will go for 2 minutes, and the other person just listens. The other person, you can nod your head, you can lean in to let them know that you're listening, but you do not speak. Okay, maybe and you'll be on mute, so that helps it on Zoom. And then what I'd like you to do is to set your own clock so that you have 2 minutes. So get your phone, and one of you decide who's going to go first, the person with the longest hair, and decide who's going to set your timer for 2 minutes, because I don't want y'all to come back and say I didn't have time to share because somebody took the whole time. Okay, so Reggie, are there any questions about the dyad? No questions. So Reggie, when you're ready,
The rooms are open.
okay. Oh, very good.
Al, are you there?
I am.
Al, I opened 29 rooms, but for some reason, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms with one person in them. It should
That's
have
because
only,
there's 56 people here. And it didn't include me, so I can go into one of them.
okay.
56 would have been, so 29 rooms is for 58 people. So
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
thought we had
pause the
50.
recording.
Okay, Pam, everybody's back.
Okay, fantastic. So first of all, I would like to hear how did you do with the dyad? First of all, be honest. Did you were you able to not speak when it wasn't your turn? Honesty. Thumbs up if you were able to just wait your turn to speak. I intentionally put a dyad here, and we intentionally put them in the CPS and the CARES training, because as a CPS, as a CARES, as a frontline worker, as a clinician, as an ally, it is our job to listen. It is so important that we listen. It's not, it's not about them understanding our experience. It's not about us explaining how it worked for us. It is about them being able to share and us having the space. And so this is a practice. This is a practice. For me, this is a big practice. So I'd like for 2 people to share that have not shared already, please, what it was like to speak for 2 minutes, what it was like to listen for 2 minutes. Either way, you can talk about either way, what it was like to be heard or what it was like to share. And Reggie, if you can let me know, call on the people.
Okay. Nobody has their hand up, so okay. Loretta.
Yes, we were able to hold with the parameters of it, not speaking for 2 minutes and listening for 2 minutes. But what I did notice is we both shared one common thing, and that was fear.
Yeah, I'm amazed, Loretta, how so often when I'm put with somebody, we have something in common, so that's, yeah, fear for sure, for sure. Reginald.
Good afternoon. Well, as far as the listening part, that was very, very easy for me because I prefer to keep my mouth shut and listen. And the main reason is because I don't know why I've developed this thing, and it's my stuff where I just feel like when you work in an office with a whole lot of people, you have a certain portion or a number that some people just have to talk all the time, even if they're really not talking about anything significant. And when you work in an office with as many people as I do, it becomes annoying a whole lot. So that's why I don't have much to say at any given moment. And the reason why I choose to talk only when I need to is because sometimes I feel I don't have the confidence that I wish I had as far as speaking to people in public or just speaking one-on-one to people I really don't know.
Thank you for all being vulnerable and open and honest, Reginald. That's why we intentionally put this here, so that you can practice that, because it is important both ways to be able to speak and gain confidence in doing that, and also able to listen. And self-awareness is so important in recovery. It really is in life. Self-awareness is just, so people that, and I know because I spot it, because I really used to have it, that talking all the time. And so it's a practice for me to listen and to be self-aware. Why are you talking so much? Sometimes people do it nervous, habit, and so, and it's not, true listening is not about me waiting for you to, where I can jump in somewhere, where I can just jump in and tell you, and then I rob the whole conversation, so, I think this is, I'm so grateful for this. I learned this in my CARES 19, and I'm really, really grateful for it. Yes. All right, we're gonna move on. I would like to now have some volunteers to, we're gonna take 3 volunteers to share with us, why is it important for you to have resiliency, self-care resiliency. We want to hear from 3 people that haven't shared yet. Chris. There
Hello.
it is.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So like I was explaining to Winona and the dyad, when for resiliency for me comes down to being efficient in everything that I do, whether that's at the job, with my son, and just basically everything I do is to be efficient and to be um, happy doing it as well. So that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think what I hear from that is some self-awareness. If I am self-aware that I want to be efficient, then I can't just talk all the time. And to be efficient too, it is amazing what you can learn about somebody in 2 minutes if you give them the time. And as frontline workers, CPSs, CARES, clinicians, allies, we get very busy in what we're doing, very busy, and we don't think we have time to listen. But if we can give somebody our sincere 2 minutes without talking, you can learn a lot about somebody. You really, really can. All right. Anybody else want to share? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Miranda?
Hi Pam, Reagan. Good to see you all.
You too.
What works best, what I need to remember, Pam, more than anything else, is the hats that I wear in the organization. And I say that because I'm a person in recovery, I'm a CARES, and I'm a program director too. And when I say that, it means a whole lot to me to be able to listen, because I need to first understand where my friend is in their own recovery. I need to be able to understand what is it in my organization that I may need to start, stop, or continue with. And I need to be, because we're dealing with peers who are in recovery as well as peers who are just getting introduced to recovery. So I need to be able to if I say that I care about you, then I need to be able to show you what that looks like. I don't know how to sort of put it in words, but I need to be the person who, I can't say one thing and do another.
That's right.
I got to be, my walk has got to line up with my talk.
Right.
And-
So Miranda,
and-
what is your why? Why is it important to you to build resiliency and self-care? Why is it important?
It's important for me because I'm gonna need you. I can build you up, but I need you to be able to build me up.
Mm. We
It
need
goes-
each other.
Yes, that's it.
We need each other. And,
I need
and,
each other.
and what I heard from your share also is that if I want to have integrity, I've got to do self-care and be resilient, because if not, I'm going to promise things that I cannot do. And you know, in a trauma-informed system, behavioral health system, we must build trust. We must build trust, because you know, trust has been broken with people like us that have had traumas, and the people that we're working with, and we have to do what we say we're going to do. So thank you for bringing that up. One more person. What is your why? Why is it important for you to build your resiliency and self-care and addressing your secondary traumas? Anybody? All right, that's okay. We can, Aloysius.
Aloysius. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hi.
Okay. Hi. It's very important because not only are you listening, but you're watching. And that person is also watching you. So you have to be aware of your environment the whole time, because it can escalate out of control. And the only way you can retain control is to be present. You know, it's empathy that I heard with Miranda. Miranda, you expressed a lot of empathy. You know, really, you're helping each other in the process of communicating. You know, and it's a give and take. So yeah.
All
So
right.
that's the reason why.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to move ahead, and you can write it in the chat if you'd like to just share with all the participants, what is your why? You can write a few words in the chat. Okay. Okay.
Miranda.
Hi, this is Mary.
So we're going to move on. The community resiliency model, and now Reggie has got a poll question for us. How many of you have heard of the community resiliency model? They're coming in, they're coming in. Come on, vote now, vote, vote. We got a vote coming up here, May 21st, primary indicator. Come on, come on, come on, you guys. Oh, that's good. Okay, we've got almost everybody. All right. So we have more, 75% have not heard of the community resiliency model, and 25 had. So about a year and a half ago, maybe a year and 8 months ago, I was on the Emory Mental Health Technology Center, and Emory has got some great trainings that they do. It's the MHTTC, the Southeast MHTTC. And I was introduced to this community resiliency model, and it really transformed the way that I was able to in the moment, do something different. And some of these things we do already. And today we're going to just talk about three of the six. There's 6 skills, and we're going to just talk about 3 of the 6 because we don't have time to go through all of them. But I want you to, at the end, I'm going to give you some resources so that you can take a look at all of these skills. And the community resiliency model has been taken all over the world. It has been taken to war zones. It has been taken to all the 50 states, and it was designed by a woman who was for 30 years a nurse practitioner, and she saw both the need for frontline workers to have a way to bounce back into that okay zone, and then she began sharing it, and really it is taking trauma informed, which is asking people, what happened to you, to what we learned in CARES, which is what's right with you. So it's looking at your strengths and being able to pull yourself back when you need to. And the first of the 6 skills is called tracking. And tracking is important because we have these bodies, right, that have 3.7 trillion cells, 3.7 trillion cells. And our bodies are doing miraculous things in every moment. And we just kind of take our bodies for granted sometimes. And, what I think is really great about tracking is it brings me back into my body. So a while ago, when I shared about when I had became activated, when I was doing the warm line, I felt my heart rate starting to go up. I felt a little jittery. I felt a little shaky. And so if I can be aware in the moment of how I am feeling, and it drops you out of your head that is ruminating. So y'all know how if you've got a thought and you're going, you keep on ruminating in this thought. It looks to me like a mental health challenge. If I'm ruminating and ruminating and ruminating, and so if I drop down into my body, then it helps me to stop this going round and round and round. So I want for you all to just, I'm just going to be quiet for just a second, and I want you to feel in your body, and just feel in your body. Okay, just everybody, just take a few breaths and feel in your body. And what do you feel? For me, I feel my body is I feel calm. I feel like my heart rate is just calm. I feel excited also, which looks like my body is alert. I don't feel tired. Rested real well today in preparation for this. So I'd like for a couple of people that haven't shared yet to share what do you feel in your body, and just begin. It's something that I wasn't really used to talking about, the sensations in my body. And so it's something new. And if somebody would just try it out, or you might have already been used to doing this. We could have a couple of volunteers that haven't shared yet. What are you feeling in your body? And there's no wrong answers, okay? Chantel.
Thanks, Pam. So I've been trying this with some other practices, and it's interesting because I always try to come up with something, and it's usually I feel tension in my chest or what have you, and but I'm realizing, and also from your example, is that I don't have to come up with something because I can actually just not feel like something within myself, but just have an overall sense of calmness, like you were saying. And then just also recognizing that there are other factors, such as the temperature of the room, is that I may feel cold.
Mm-hmm.
So that was insightful for me, and I appreciate the examples that you've given in this space. Thanks.
Oh, I'm glad. So glad. All right, Cecilia.
Good afternoon, everyone. So right now, in the moment, I feel calm, but this morning, I had a lot of anxiety going on due to some major changes that are taking place here at my place of employment, with some shifting and moving around. So what I did was I put in my AirPods and listened to some music to come down so that what I was feeling this morning wouldn't affect how the remainder of my day would be.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Winona.
Yes, well, I am present in this moment, and feeling calm, but I'm also feeling excited because after this, I'm having lunch with my sister and we're just like joined at the hip. She's 20 months younger than me, and we just love each other so much and don't get to see each other often. So I'm a little excited, but still calm.
I love it. My sister and I are 21 months apart, and she's on here, and we're like that too. So I can relate to that beautiful feeling. Okay, one more, Carol.
Everybody. Well, in the moment you asked us to just stop and feel our bodies is what I'm talking about. I feel calm, relaxed, comfortable, and fatigued.
Okay. So just practice being more in our bodies, just feeling it so that you feel the miracle that this body is. And I want to to put out here, you could have, say your hip is hurting, okay, for example. So your hip could be hurting, but you can say, okay, instead of going right to, oh my God, my hip, I can say, okay, I have, say there's 100,000 cells around the hip, but I have 3.7 trillion total cells. And I can think in my body about what is feeling good. I don't have any headache. My head feels good. My neck feels good. Okay. My neck is feeling good. My back feels good. My arms feel good. My legs feel good. My bottom feels good. I mean, so instead of just focusing on the thing that's hurting, so when you are doing some of the tracking, you can pull some of the goodness of our body, the strength of our body, the miracle of our body to the part that's hurting. And so you can actually help to so that the pain isn't as much. And tracking is important because it helps me to say I'm activated. It helps me to see when I'm activated. And so as we were talking about here, so you're on and you want to stay in this okay zone. And if you've been pushed out to the anxiety, to the fear, to the worry too long, as we talked about, that is going to be cortisol in the body. And cortisol in the body makes you react instead of respond. And so we're going to be back here in the part of the brain that is the survival part of the brain. And I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And I want to role model what that is, what that looks like to both the people that I'm working with and to the people that I am, my colleagues and the peers that are coming to me. And so, you know, I want to be able to stay in that zone, and tracking helps me to stay in that zone. So we're all going to move to number 2, which is resourcing. And this is one of my favorite. Okay, so say I've been activated by some behavior of a peer that has come to me for services. Maybe he or she is yelling, or they're yelling, and rather than getting to where I have to check out, perhaps I can use resourcing. Resourcing is using a pleasant, real, or imagined experience to promote your own resilience and staying in that okay zone. So I'm going to give you an example. This is one that I use a lot. And I have a whole bunch of different ones, but this is one. So when I went to go see my granddaughter over Christmas, she had just begun to walk. So I walk into the door. Here she comes, like you know how they do when they're toddling, and she's coming to me like this. She's got her hands out. She walks past everybody else, runs up to me. So and then it runs into my arms. I feel her against my body, and she's got her little head right here. So just in that, I have gone from being knocked out of the okay zone up here for anxiety, and it helps me to come back. I don't have to say that to anybody. I can do it right there in the moment. And I can in the moment think of 3 things that are pleasant, real or imagined, that's going to put me back into that okay zone. And so what I would like for you to do is to think about, and I'd like 3 people to share, and other people can write it into the chat. What is a pleasant, real or imagined experience? And then 3 things about it that make it, what the details do. If you bring 3 details, like, you know, I see Scarlett running to me, toddling, you know, it's almost like the drunken sailor. And then I feel her body against mine, and I feel her head in my neck. So who would like to share an experience, but just very briefly, and then 3 details that make it real? Holly.
I like to do picture me laying on a rock next to a waterfall in a lake, and I can, if I be still, I can feel the sun on me. I can feel the wind blowing against my skin. I can hear the waterfall trickling down. I can hear the fish jump in the water. And what makes it real is the fact that I've been there before. And if I'm taking deep breaths, I can actually feel it. I can actually feel what I'm thinking.
That's beautiful, Holly. That is exactly. Thank you for sharing. Perfect. Perfection. All right. Who else would like to share? And it could be real or imagined. And doing really getting the senses involved, like Holly just did. That was perfect. Anybody else like to share? Okay, Andre.
Yes. So I had the exact similar experience with my 6-year-old grandson. Lives in another state, visited last month. And so if you can picture being in a driveway, and as the garage opens, standing about 50 feet from me in anticipation and just running and jumping into my body, right?
Yes.
So I can feel that little guy's body as we speak right now from that hug. But what it touched was the love that's extended between us, the engagement that we have had and will continue to have because I'm able to be present totally
Yes, yes,
in that
yes.
moment.
Right. And what's amazing about that is as you're sharing, I feel myself just in that, you know, my capacity growing, my okay zone growing. So that's beautiful. One more. Who would like to share an experience, and then 3 details that make it real? All right, Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hey Pam, so good to see you. Hey everyone. So I was walking around the neighborhood with my dog last night, and I'm fortunate to live in a really beautiful little community. And as we were walking, we were surrounded by a canopy of trees. I was able to smell the fresh blossoms of plants that are now in bloom. Having my dog Lily look at me and check in with me as we're walking, and feeling that bond with her that we have. Hearing the sounds of the birds, it was just such a beautiful experience, and I felt very much in the present moment when we were on that walk. And it definitely helped me to calm myself and regulate myself after a difficult day.
Yes, beautiful. And I know
Thank
you have, you know about CRM for a long time, probably longer than I did. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So beautiful, so beautiful. So, you know, and what I do is, as far as resourcing, is I have a bunch of little scenarios that bring me so much peace that I can be in a meeting, someone else is having a hard time, and I can just think of those 3 things just for a few moments, and then I'm feeling better. And I just think that I don't have to announce it unless I want to, you know. And you know, and also if you need to, you excuse yourself to the restroom, you know, to say, I need to go to the restroom, and you think about these beautiful things that have been shared and that you come up with your own. And I want to emphasize that it could be imagined. I can imagine that I am in New Zealand. I've never been to New Zealand, but I've seen pictures, and I can imagine that I am like almost on the set of The Hobbit, and I feel the green, I feel the coolness. I see the little people, and they're cute, and you know, whatever it is. And so it can be real or imagined. It does not have to be, you decide what it is. And if you have some, you know, you might write it down if you like to write, and then put those details so that the senses feel it, because your brain does not know if it is right now or you're real or imagined, or it doesn't, your brain can go right back there. And then the cortisol starts to come down, the dopamine starts to increase. So now I have the deregulation has come back into the okay zone, right? And so that's what we're trying to do here, because we don't want the cortisol to start going where it reacts. It starts going, and that cortisol affects every organ of the body. Every organ of the body is affected, the mind, and the emotions, the heart, the lungs, the stomach, everything. Every part of your body is affected by that cortisol. So some of it's good because you got to have cortisol to get out of the bed, you know, so it gets a bad rap, but we do have to have it. But it's when it's that prolonged, that it becomes something that is, it's detrimental, you know, it's detrimental. So the next one that we're going to do is grounding. And grounding is bringing yourself from a ruminating mind back into your body to establish safety and stability. And one of the ways that I do that is, I've been holding these. So I often like to hold things, especially crystals that are have great energy, and also smooth. For me, I like smooth, and so this is a way of grounding. Now, you might have heard of grounding. I mean, I heard of grounding forever, but I thought it meant being on the ground, and that is one way. That is definitely one way that we can being out on the earth is a great way, but sometimes I cannot get out to the earth in the moment. I'm in a meeting, I'm with a peer, I'm doing a group, I've got a group of peers that I'm doing, and I feel activated. I can grab one of these, and just and also those fidgety things that they have, people like different things. And I'll tell you one that works really well and worked. I just have to give you another Scarlett granddaughter example. So when I was leaving Lansing and driving to Detroit, and I had left Scarlett and her mom and dad, and I was crying, and that's normal, right? I adore her, and my daughter and my son-in-law too. That's normal. Well, it began to go from just a normal okay zone crying to a out of the okay zone into a, oh my gosh, she's not going to be okay. Oh, they're so stressed out. And I'd been there for 2 months with them when she was born. And so I'm driving, and I really began to get, I mean, I was knocked out of my okay zone. And so I had just learned about this. And I was like, I'm going to have to try this grounding, and I don't have time to stop because I got to get to the plane. So what I did was I said, I felt the steering wheel in my hands intentionally. I'm like, okay, so I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. And the car was on cruise control. So I said,
Hey, Sean, looking up and turning that box.
Daryl, can you mute? So I felt my feet pushing into the floorboard of the car. This is a way to do grounding. And I mean, within, I don't know, a minute, I came from being outside up here in the fear, anxiety, back into my okay zone, back into this okay zone. I regulated my deregulated nervous system simply by grabbing the wheel and feeling it, really feeling and intentionally feeling it. And so you might be at a desk, and you're activated in some way. You can press your hands, like right now I'm pressing into the counter. You can press into your what's under you. You also could feel your self in the chair. You could feel your back, your legs, your arms being supported by the chair. And they have used this with even kids 2.5, 3 years old, to like lean up against the refrigerator, like when they're feeling really some big feelings, to start to teach them, you can feel, what are you feeling right now? You feel a lot of feelings. Let's just take a minute to ground and feel your body against the refrigerator. So does this make sense? Is this something that you guys, I'd like to hear a couple of people share about ways that you do grounding in this way. Raise your virtual hand. Okay, Chantel.
One of the things that I've been trying lately is like holding my own hands. It's just a way of grounding for me. Just because I can feel it, there just is a sense of self.
Absolutely, absolutely. Winona.
Yeah, I've been doing this grounding thing and didn't even realize that's what it was. I do some self-talk and go, okay, I'm in this moment. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Carol.
Okay. I use 4-7-8 breathing, where you breathe into the count of 4, you hold it for 7, and you breathe
Mm-hmm.
out to the count of 8. And if I do that
Mm.
10 times, it's like a miracle. Also,
That's
another thing I use is emotional freedom technique, where I just start like tapping
right.
acupressure
Yeah.
points, and I know where they
Mm-hmm.
are, and that really helped.
Yes. Yeah. Y'all can share those in the chat too. That'd be great. Okay, Jody, and then Charles, and then we're gonna have to move on, but put it in the chat if you ways you do grounding.
So I'm Jody. Hey.
Hey.
Grounding. I really do love grounding just with my bare feet on the ground, but I know that's not always an
Me
option
too.
at all.
Me too.
But I enjoy that. I've grown up on a lot of land my whole life out in the country, so that's something I do. But other than that, it really works well to me. Some variation of like fine colors. So I instead of looking for like every color, so like if I'm say if I'm having a panic attack or something, I can like look around the room and try to find all the red things. Or I think it was taught to me as like find something red, something green, something blue, like that. But it works better for me if I just pick one color and then I see how many of those things I can find. And it works really
Mm-hmm.
well for my kids too, like if they're having a meltdown. So
I love it. Thank you for sharing. All right, Chuck.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for everybody to share so far. Yeah, one of the things that I use is something I learned from a Native American in long-term recovery years ago. He says, go outside, step outside your home. He said, or if you're just looking out a window and you see an animal suddenly appear in your yard or in your tree, look up the spiritual meaning of that and the beauty of that. And I still do that.
I
And
do the same, Chuck. Thank you for
then,
sharing
and then
that.
what I do is when I see them, I pray for the animals. And this morning I looked out in the yard through the kitchen window, and there were 4 squirrels out there. They don't do anything to harm anything. They're out there looking for something to munch on. And this happens every day when they show up. And there's times I look out and they sit up on their back legs and look straight at me.
Right.
And one of the things when I looked that up, when a squirrel suddenly shows up unexpectedly, spontaneously in your life, start thinking about gratitude.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate
Welcome.
that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, all of these, and one that I hadn't heard, which is really great, is if you can't go out, look outside, and hopefully there's a window where you can get to. Sometimes you can just look and see. I appreciate all of these really great shares. All right, let me see. We're going to move on. So, all right. So we did the resourcing, and I want to share with you this slide. They're going to share the PDF slides with y'all afterwards. So you can have all of this, but I want to the Trauma Resource Institute is where this they came up with this. And you can find out more about it there, traumaresourceinstitute.com. Also, the app I have on my phone, it's a free app for any kind of phone, iChill app. And if you want to bring it up on your computer, you can do the ichillapp.com. But if you go to your app store, you can find it. You can either read it in about 15 minutes or she will read to you. So, for some peers that or people that, or if you're driving or whatever and you can't read, she reads it to you, so which is really helpful. I also wanted to share with you guys a really great book, Trauma in the 12-Step, the workbook. It really helps to It's not for people on, not only in addiction. This is, Trauma in the 12 Steps, the workbook you can find. It's a really great resource for people that have had trauma, which is most of us. Research shows most of us have had traumas. And right here is my email for future trainings and trauma recovery. If you email me, I will let you know when we're going to be doing some of those things. And it's come to the end of the training here, and I like to end my trainings on a fun way, which is great for the body and feeling sensations in the body. It's great for grounding, and that is doing a dance. So I want everybody to stand up, and Al is going to, Berlinda's getting started already.
Sometimes I'm right and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my songs. Butcher, the baker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in.
But sometimes I'm right and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. 'Cause I am everyday people. There is a blue one that can't accept the green one, for living with the fat one, trying to be a skinny one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. Sha sha. We got to live together.
I am no better, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me, and then you still can't figure out the thing I'm in.
'Cause I am everyday people.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a long hair that doesn't like the short hair, for being such a rich one that will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's Scooby Dooby Doo. Ooh, sha sha. We got to live together. There is a yellow one that won't accept the black one, that won't accept the red one, that won't accept the white one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's Scooby Dooby Doo. Ooh, sha sha. I am everyday people.
Oh my gosh, y'all were getting it. That was so fun. Thank you all so much for being here, for being a part of my life, for all of you have helped me to get to this place of thriving and learning and loving life. And so I thank you from all of my heart. And I'm very grateful to the Georgia Council and to the Georgia Mental Health for being a part of my life. And I just wish you all blessings.
You're the best, Pam. Thank you.
Okay, guys, let's everybody give Pam a round of applause.
Pammy, woohoo!
Great job, Pam.
Sister.
Great job. Really appreciate
Congratulations.
that.
Woohoo!
And that was really, really, really informative. Thank you, Pam, again.
Beautiful. So fun.
Okay, guys, as far as your certificates, as I said, before the webinar started, everybody who stayed the required amount of time will receive 1.5 hours of continuing education units, and those certificates will be in your email early next week. They will come from my coworker, Al Cotton. Al, am I missing anything? Oh, you guys will also be receiving the slides. I heard somebody ask about that in the chats earlier. You will get the slides from this presentation.
And there will be a recording available. We should be able to send that in your email as well with your certificate.
Yeah. Any last minute questions, concerns, comments?
When's the next gathering?
Every month, right? Every
Yeah.
month.
Fun,
Yeah.
fun.
Every month on the same week?
I don't believe so. Al, don't we do 2 a month a couple of times?
We do. It's every third Thursday, always, at either 11:30 or 5 p.m. And you can sign up for those. You should be getting emails. If not, you can email me at alvin@gc4recovery.org, and I can get you into can check your email issues and see if there's anything going on. I'll put that in the chat.
And thanks to both of you for getting this coordinated.
Thank you for the powerful meeting today. Hope to see you all
Okay.
at the next session.
All right, guys. Thank you. Everybody have a
Bye.
wonderful day.
Take care.
Thank you so much for being here.
Love y'all. Bye.
Love y'all.
Love you.